Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is the DOUG here. It's time for my Week 17 picks. Now, of course, this was supposed to be done on Madden, but again, Madden has an update that's making me sit through, because apparently, long story short, Madden, and this is the first time it's ever happened to me with a disc game, I had to literally deinstall it and reinstall Madden, so I'm going to have lots and lots of fun. So hopefully next week we'll be able to do the picks on Madden, and I can actually get the Week 17 matchup against the Cardinals done. But we're not here for that, or my crappy internet issues. We're here to talk about Week 17. But of course, we always could do a quick recap of last week. Niners lost to the Titans because, well, the 49ers choked. The Packers handled their business with the Browns, barely beating them because they almost let the Browns come back. Colts upset the world, shocked the world and beat the Cardinals. Bengals demolished the Ravens. Falcons handled their business with the Lions, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Rams beat the Vikings, clinching a playoff spot for them and the Cardinals. Jets beat the Jags, hoping the Jags control that number one seed for the the first pick in the draft. Excuse me. Bills beat the Patriots, giving Bills control of their own destiny in the division. Eagles beat the Giants, which was no effing surprise. Buccaneers beat the Panthers, which again, no surprise. Texans got the shock of the week, though, as they beat the Chargers, kind of ruining the Chargers' chances at the playoffs. Bears keep their playoff hopes alive and eliminate the Seahawks from theirs. Chiefs handled their business and destroyed the Steelers. Raiders beat the Broncos in what was a good, close match. My Cowboys demolished Washington on Sunday Night Football. And on Monday night, the Dolphins. Congratulations to the Dolphins on not only beating the Saints, but after starting 1-7, going 7 straight wins. That's an accomplishment of their own. So, for the week, I went 12-4, not a bad week. And for the season, I'm 145-90-1. Now, of course, there is some news we got to discuss real quick before we get to the playoff scenarios. Of course, Big Ben said yesterday that this might be his last game at Heinz Field, so it looks like he's probably going to retire after this season, which it is about time because though he's been playing this year, it's been like wanting to watch The Undertaker versus Bill Goldberg at Crown Jewel. Not pretty. Jimmy Garoppolo's got a thumb injury. We don't know if he's playing for the Niners this weekend. They could be having to start the rookie quarterback. Also, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. We don't know if he'll be playing this weekend because of his injury. So 3 big matchups that affect 2 injuries affect things. So pretty much here we go, guys. For your playoff scenarios before we get to the picks. Kansas City Chiefs have secured their spot in the postseason, but they can punch their tickets, the number 1 seed this weekend. That includes the Titans and Bengals, who can also clinch the division title. Niners and Eagles can ensure their spots, while the Rams can lock up the NFC West by the end of Sunday. Of course, the headliner for this week would be top seeds in each conference also being solidified, pretty much guaranteed, as the Packers and Chiefs both have scenarios in front of them to clinch a first-round bye and home field advantage throughout the postseason. So let's start. Let's start with the Bills. Bills can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a loss by Baltimore. And that's pretty much the easiest one. The rest of them involve a lot of insanity. Like, Buffalo needs a win plus a Chargers loss and a Raiders loss. But the easiest one would be Buffalo wins and Baltimore loses. Bills do play the Falcons this weekend. Unfortunately, if you're Kansas City, not as easy because you play the Chiefs this Sunday. But the Chiefs can clinch the AFC Division North title with a win. They can also clinch a playoff berth with a tie against Kansas City, plus a Chargers, Raiders, and Miami loss. The Colts can clinch a playoff berth with a win on Sunday as well. Now, of course, the Chiefs can clinch the number 1 seed outright with a win plus a Titans loss or a tie with the Bengals and a loss by the Titans. Patriots can also clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Miami loss. And the Titans can clinch their division with a win or an Indy loss. So those 2 games will be important. Now, Green Bay can clinch the first round seed with a win plus a Dallas loss. Dallas does play Arizona. Packers play the Vikings. Rams can win the division title with a win plus a Cardinals loss. So I guarantee you Rams fans will be watching the Dallas Cards game very closely. Eagles can clinch a playoff berth with a win over Washington plus a Minnesota and a New Orleans loss. And the 49ers, which is my buddy Dave's team, they can clinch a playoff berth with a win plus a New Orleans Saints loss, which would be the easiest way to do it. Now, checking the good old... So pretty much that's all you need to know for the playoff scenarios this week. Things could change. Now let's get to the picks this week. Game 1, Rams at Ravens. Rams are favored by 4.5 points. I got the Los Angeles Rams winning this one, guys. I know they haven't been playing the greatest of football the last few weeks, but Baltimore is so injury prone right now. I cannot trust Baltimore at the moment. Moving on to my next game. Well, I'm just going to discuss it here. It's at 4:25. It's Cardinals and Cowboys. I'm taking my Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 6. By the way, if you live in Virginia, here are the games you can watch that if you do not have Red Zone. At 1 o'clock on CBS will be the Chiefs Bengals. On Fox at 1 o'clock will be the Eagles Washington. And at 4:25 on Fox it will be the Cowboys and Cardinals. Just like if anybody wanted to know, there you go. Up next, Bills at home against the Falcons. Bills are favored by 14.5 points. This is one of my 2 locks of the week. I have the Bills over the Falcons. Bills just a better team on paper. Next, Giants at Bears. Well, Vibrator, aka my good buddy Giant Vibrator, the worst channel ever. Chicago's favored by 6 points. I'm going to take Chicago here. Giants have just been a clusterfuck. That's the nicest way I'll put it. Chiefs Bengals. Kansas City's favored by 5 points. But this is one of my 2 upset picks. I am taking the Bengals to beat the Chiefs. I think the Bengals are a good team. I think Kansas City right now, they are hard. I think this could be the real test because the Bengals are a real good team. So give me the Chiefs to lose this one. Speaking of upsets, the Titans are favored to beat the Dolphins by 3.5 points. This is a real test for the Dolphins playing a legit team. I know someone's going to say, well, the Saints. Saints won their 4th-string quarterback. Come on. But this is my other upset pick of the week. I have the Dolphins over the Titans. Dolphins have been red hot. Yes, I know they haven't played a lot of good teams, but as the old saying goes, you play to win the game. Sometimes record doesn't matter when you want to play. You got to beat them because if you lose to a bad team, you get made fun of. A la the Chargers, you stupid idiots. Up next, Colts and Raiders. Colts are favored by 7 points. I got the Colts here. They got a great running game. I don't know if the Raiders can stop it. Yes, I know the Colts will be using a different quarterback, but we know how the Colts play. Just run the damn ball. Up next, the other lock of the week, Jaguars at Patriots. Jaguars are purposely just trying to hold on to that first pick in the draft. Give me the Patriots at home. Patriots are favored by 16 points. Colts are favored by 7, by the way. Up next, speaking of a big point advantage, Buccaneers against the Jets. Guess what? Tampa Bay's favored by 13 points. Give me the Buccaneers. They got way too much talent. Jets are the Jets. They do Jets things. They don't show up. Up next, Eagles at Washington. Both teams wouldn't need this one to keep any playoff hopes alive. Eagles can actually clinch a playoff berth with win and some help, like I said. Eagles are favored by 3 points. I'm going to take the Eagles here. Washington, I think, is just too banged up and everything else. Up next, Chargers at Broncos. Chargers are favored by 6.5 points. These are one of the 2 games I was hesitant about because I am taking the Chargers, but after how they played against Houston, am I confident in them? No, because they've been up and down this year. You should have not. If the Chargers didn't lose to Houston, we'd be discussing the Chargers probably getting a playoff berth this week, but not happening. Up next, the 49ers are favored by 12.5 points against the Texans. Texans are kind of running momentum. Apparently, they don't know what tank bowl is. Give me the Niners, though. Just too much talent, but I will say this. If the Niners lose to the Texans, I think Dave will have a meltdown. Panthers and Saints. Saints are favored by 6.5 points. I'm going to take the Saints here. Panthers have just looked bad since that win over Arizona. Lions and Seahawks are next. I am not confident with this one. This is the second game I was not confident with. I have the Seahawks beating the Lions, but Seattle kind of looked disappointed. I'm going to say this when it comes to Russell Wilson. I don't expect him to be on the Seahawks after this season. My money's going to be on Miami. He's going to go to Miami, get out of that rain and cold weather. Sunday night game, Vikes-Packers. Now, I know everyone's going to be like, oh, Doug, you need the Vikings to win. If you've been a part of this channel long enough, you know I don't like Kirk Cousins. And I do not have faith in Kirk Cousins on prime time. I'm sorry. Give me the Packers at home. Packers get their revenge and pretty much guarantee the #1 seed for them at this point. And then the Monday night game, Big Ben's last home game at Heinz Field. I am taking the Browns, though. I think overall Browns have just been better. They almost beat Green Bay. Steelers didn't really look like they belonged against Kansas City. Sorry. So just as a recap before you go, I have Rams, Bills, Bears, Bengals, Dolphins, Colts, Patriots, Bucks, Eagles, Chargers, Niners, Saints, Cowboys, Seahawks, Packers, and Browns getting a W this week. Let me know what you think of my picks. Do you agree or disagree? And let me know who you have this week. This will probably be my last video for before we head to the new year. So everyone, please be safe this New Year's and have a happy New Year coming up. Bye, everybody.